Welcome to Evening News on Remo TV. I am Annie Baba Bekelolua. First on national news. The sacking of Mohammed Adamu as the Inspector General of Police on Tuesday came as a shock to many Nigerians, as he was fired in a circumstance rare as ends teeth before the expiration of his tenure extension. Adamu, whose tenure ended in February after completion of his mandatory 35 years of service, got a 3-month extension by the president. Despite objections by many human rights lawyers, civil society organizations, among others, he had only spent about 2 months out of the 3-month extension when the Minister of Police Affairs, Muhammad Dingyadi, announced on Tuesday that the president had replaced him. The report that Adamu was in Owerri, the Imo state capital, when the Police Affairs Minister made the announcement. Adamu had charged men of the state police command not to spare members of the indigenous people of Biafra, adding that there was no hiding place for criminals in the state. Those who are attacking police officers and other security agents as well as security facilities shouldn't think that they will get away with it. Never, he had said. But just as they had charged the cops, the Police Affairs Minister in Abuja announced the Deputy Inspector General of Police, Usman Baba, as the Acting Inspector General of Police. While Dingyadi did not give any reason for the sacking of Adamu, the removal of the IGP might not be unconnected to the rising insecurity in the country, as well as the unprecedented onslaught against police formations in the country since last October in the riots that trailed the entire protest. The sacking of Adamu might not be also unconnected to the Imo attacks and the horrific crimes perpetrated in the southeast of late. Still on national news. Human rights lawyer Mike Ezekume has described as unconstitutional and nepotistic the appointment of Usman Alkali Baba as Acting Inspector General of Police. Ezekume stated this in a statement made available on Wednesday, titled Buhari's Modernization of the Nigeria Police Force. It had earlier been reported that President Major General Muhammadu Buhari, through the Minister of Police Affairs Muhammad Dingyadi, had on Tuesday appointed Baba to succeed Mohammed Adamu. Reacting, Ezekume, who had earlier kicked against the extension of the tenure of Adamu, said going by paragraph 7 to the 3rd schedule of the 1999 Constitution, the president cannot single-handedly appoint an IGP, as he has again unconstitutionally and illegally done. He can only do so in conjunction with the Nigeria Police Council comprising of Mr. President as chairman, all the 36 state governors, the chairman of the Police Service Commission, and the IGP. On state news, Governor Dapo Abiodun of Ogun State inaugurated the state security team, the Amotekun Corps, on Thursday. During the inauguration in Abeokuta, the governor noted that the agents of the Amotekun security team had been carefully selected and trained to secure lives and properties. He added that the state government had provided the team with vehicles, motorcycles, communication devices, technical backups, and the political will for an effective takeoff and efficient operation. He hinted that the provision of equipment and the recruitment of personnel would be an ongoing exercise, saying the government expected superlative performance from the operatives. Abiodun urged them to diligently add value to strengthen the safety of life and property in the state, warning them that they must fulfill their functions within the scope of what is established by the law that establishes them. Their role is primarily to prevent crime. It must do this through systematic intelligence gathering and collaboration with other law enforcement agencies, especially the safety net agencies of the state, he said. He called on the people to support and cooperate with the Amotekun operatives to strengthen the state security machinery. He also asked other security agencies to cooperate and collaborate with Amotekun to form a synergy of purpose to ensure greater safety of lives and properties in the state. On international news, America is doing its best to help out the rest of the world. The latest US trade deficit numbers shows imports exceeding exports by the greatest dollar amount on record. It's nice of them to buy so much stuff from everyone else at a difficult juncture. An escalating trade deficit is generally a symptom of economic overheating, but there is little risk of active attempts to use either fiscal or monetary policy to douse the fire. The Biden administration continues to attempt to push through fresh stimulus to fund infrastructure. Meanwhile, minutes from the latest meeting of the Federal Reserve's Monetary Policy Committee chirped strong hint that the central bank really is serious about letting conditions run hot. It described the economy as far from the goal of full employment, which is debatable and shows intent to bring unemployment down much more. While my colleague Vivian Lau Chen drew attention to this sentence, If the Fed is really willing to wait until there are actual signs of a healing US economy, Chen points out that this implies a significant delay. Traditionally, central bankers take into account that monetary policy generally works with a lag of 6 to 9 months. So whenever you thought the Fed was going to start removing the punch bowl, maybe you should move it another 6 months later. Judging by the very quiet reaction in stock and bond markets, traders had already fully factored in a dovish Fed. Now on sports news. FIFA suspended Pakistan's membership Wednesday and ordered an unrecognized committee to vacate the National Football Federation's headquarters in the country. Pakistan football has been run by a FIFA-appointed committee since 2019, but members were evicted from their Lahore office last week by a group claiming to have held legitimate elections. The Pakistan Football Federation has been suspended until further notice, FIFA said in a statement from its headquarters in Zurich. PFF representative and club teams are therefore no longer entitled to take part in international competitions until the suspension is lifted. The ban means Pakistan, whose last international match was against Cambodia in June 2019, will no longer get FIFA development funding, worth around $1.25 million a year. Pakistan, a giant of regional level in the 1960s and 70s, has been suspended twice before because of government interference in the sport. Lastly, on entertainment news, Derele has always been a controversial celebrity, majorly because of how he dresses. Although Derele dresses in an unconventional way, the least anyone would think of him is being a murderer, let alone murdering his best friend, Goldie. However, Derele mentioned that there were rumors flying around that he killed popular musician Goldie, who was also his best friend. There were rumors going around that I had a hand in her death. People said that I was giving her drugs, cocaine, and that I was a supplier. There were also made up stories of how her family was going to arrest me. So, I could not mourn my friend the way I wanted to. Every day I want to, my phones would ring. My friends in the industry wanted to know the full gist. Nobody was really sympathetic except for a few people because I can tell genuine from fake. After the candlelight service, I went back to my family house and about 5 armed robbers came to rob us screaming we should hand over the gold. They beat the daylight out of me and they terrorized my grandmother and my dad. They must have thought since I am Goldie's friend, she must have left all her gold for me. You know her name is synonymous to gold. They must have felt she had a lot of gold to have been called Goldie. At that point, it was too much to bear. I couldn't mourn her in peace, so I traveled to Brazil. It was there I mourned her. I had dreams. I dreamed where she was screaming that I know who killed her. I still meet her. I have quiet moments, but the thing is that I cannot experience that moment of solitude for long. I call it my moment of tranquility, but it does not last. That is all we have for evening news on Remo TV. You can follow us on every of our social media handles on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at official Remo TV. You can also check our website at www.remotv.com.ng. Good night.